Good afternoon. Welcome to our Midday Mull for Friday, the 11th of September. We're nearing the end of the book of Ruth, and we saw yesterday how the people look at Naomi and say, "You've been blessed. You have a daughter-in-law who's better than 7 sons, and therefore, sort of God has undertaken for you." And we continue in verse 16 of chapter 4. Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The women living there said, "Naomi has a son," and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Now, that got me thinking about this son that she had. She took the child, and they talk that Naomi has a son. In fact, she didn't. There was no actual physical relationship at all. He was the son of a distant relative of Naomi and a Moabite woman. And yet Naomi had been integrally involved in the whole story behind his birth. And that got me thinking about the kind of the people that we have influence over, even though we might not be directly related, even though they may not be family, even though we may not be in the same group. But the people that we influence through our lives. And it got me thinking that we often will focus on the people closest to us and think, "Oh, what am I doing? My children, how do I influence my children? Or my brothers and sisters, what is my influence there?" But sometimes we need to recognize that we have influence much further afield. And who are our spiritual children, our grandchildren, that we are influencing in our lives? And although that isn't sort of what this passage is talking about, this is the thought that it generated in my mind. What influence do we have? And we just need to be aware that we do have influence, and we need to be mindful of the fact that everything we do and all we say and how we interact with people in all situations is going to have an influence. And so I pray that the people who influence you will have been good and godly, and you'll be able to look back on them with love and with thankfulness. But likewise, that you will pass it on, and you will have an influence on other people's lives, and that it will be good and godly. And so our prayer needs to be, "God, work through us, even when we don't realize that is happening." So be blessed in your day and in all your relationships.